Hello, my beautiful potatoes. Welcome to the first episode of the Bedhead Talks series, where I will talk about mental health, self-help stuff, tips, and I do it right out of bed from the comfort of my bed, which I have made though. That's important for your mental health. Today we're going to talk about toxic people and dealing with them. Disclaimer, although I am a psychology graduate, I only have my bachelor's and therefore I do not replace a therapist or psychologist or psychiatrist. Whatever I say here is from my experience, maybe some research there somehow because I do love psychology obviously and reading into it, but I am not like a certified anything. So please, if you need real help, if you're dealing with an abusive relationship, please see a professional. So with that out of the way, let's talk about today's topic. I think what I do want to start off with, as someone who, especially this year, I don't know about you, but this year I have realized a lot of things.
The year of just realizing stuff, and everyone around me, we're all just like realizing things.
And cut off a lot of people. Either a big event has happened or I just realized a few toxic behaviors, so I kept my distance. I don't know if it's just me getting older and wiser, or if it's just 2020 and us being stuck in our houses and forced to think a lot and reflect on our lives. Not to say that I haven't been a toxic person in previous relationships of mine, whether it's friendships or maybe even family, but I try not to be. Anyway, what I want to say is don't blame yourself for not noticing the signs or being fooled, because it gets to a point when you've been betrayed by a lot of people or had experiences like this with a lot of people, you think that you should be able to detect this right away. And maybe, yes, you're better, you're more cautious, you're less naive, but a lot of people are really good at being really charming and fooling you, and you just never see it coming. And what really matters in the end is how you deal with it, how you move forward from when you realize this person is not good for you, or when an event has happened where they've betrayed your trust or done a really massive bad thing. Everyone makes mistakes, and in that case, like if it's a small mistake or something that you could understand why it happened, then of course they deserve a second chance. Because whenever you meet someone new, you don't know what is going to be something that bothers them or affects them negatively unless they communicate that with you. So if you've communicated with someone that something they do really makes you uncomfortable and then they still keep on doing it, or whatever, you've talked about this and they still do it, maybe knowing that it does that, then it's time to think about it. But otherwise, many people deserve second chances, so you've got to really use your judgment. But when someone does a really big thing, they've really betrayed your trust, they have lied to you, or they've said stuff about you, or they've told your secrets, that's a big red flag. So once you find that out, what's important is not to be like, oh no, I should have not, like, how did I do this to myself? I should have known better, I should have not trusted them. No. Use this now to realize how you're gonna move forward. Because as something I saw, I think on Tumblr or Twitter a while back, toxic people go to everyone. They don't just go to you, they go to everyone. What makes a difference is whether you let them stay or not. Now, of course, it's easier said than done, especially if this toxic person is a family member, but that's a whole other kind of video, I think. But anyway, even though I'm saying that you shouldn't blame yourself, I've actually noticed that there are signs that you can look out for from now on. So 3 signs that I've noticed that maybe I should be more aware of in the future with other people to be more cautious of is, number 1, watch out for your initial gut feeling. Dr. Ramani, who's my favorite psychologist person online ever, talked about this in one of her videos. Maybe I'll link it if I can find it. But basically the idea of how a gut feeling is your body kind of recognizing familiar things that were from a traumatic event or something bad that happened. Your body knows, even if your mind manages to repress and suppress and all of that, your body still kind of remembers. So if you meet someone and you feel this gut feeling that they're not good people or just negative vibes, then maybe just be more cautious. I'm not saying just cut them off straight away, because who knows, sometimes some people, they give off that even when they're not. But really be cautious, really take your time with opening up to someone that you don't have a good gut feeling about, right? And number two, I realize with a lot of people that I've cut off, they, at the start of our interactions or during our friendship when everything was fine, they showed behaviors that I wasn't really comfortable with, that I felt were a bit mean or just not nice behaviors. But I made exceptions for them for some reason, because they were my friend and because I really liked their company with me. So I kind of turned a blind so I kind of like just ignored when they did things to other people that really bothered me. And that's a bad thing on my part as well. I shouldn't be that kind of person. But you should see that. Do you see them acting towards other people in a bad way but just ignore it? Then maybe you should look out for that. If you see someone acting in a way that doesn't align with your own values or whatever, then again, be cautious around them. And three, this is, I think, one of the biggest realizations I had. It's about getting close too quickly. Usually people say that about like love relationships, right? That moving too fast could be a bad sign, blah, blah, blah. But even actually I realized in friendships, I don't think it's normal with a friendship to quickly go from 0 to 100 in like a month. Yeah, sure, there are some people that you might click with instantly and feel connected with really fast compared to others. But even with them, usually the friendship is still gradual, and it builds up over a few months before you really can open up about like your darkest secrets. But what I've noticed is with a lot of people who I found to be toxic to me and who I've cut off, is that we got close way too fast. Like within a month I was telling them everything. And maybe that's just me because I'm a very open person, but our friendships move too fast. Suddenly it's like 2 months into us talking, I feel like we're inseparable, and I put them on a pedestal and I treat them like the best thing ever. And I've realized I gotta stop doing that. I gotta slow it down and really be careful when I'm meeting new people, making new friends. Sorry, there's a bird just chilling. Okay. When I'm meeting new people, I should just take my friendship slowly and really see how this person is before I, be completely vulnerable to them. Okay, so now you haven't noticed the signs and you've been friends with this person who is now showing you toxic behavior. So what will you do? If they have betrayed your trust big time, or when they apologize, their apology does not seem genuine or seems like a really bad apology where they're not really taking any responsibility, they're kind of blaming it on other factors or even blaming it on you, really look at the way someone phrases their apologies, because that tells you a lot about how they truly feel about the situation and whether they see what they've done and how it's hurt you. And so, if it's one of these two where they've betrayed your trust big time, it's not a small thing where it's like, oh yeah, mistakes happen. It's like, clearly you shouldn't have done this, clearly you shouldn't have said that, clearly you shouldn't have told this person, or whatever. If it's a big betrayal like that, or if their apologies seem really is that a word? Disingenuous? If their apologies seem not very genuine, not really taking responsibility, then I would advise to cut them off, or at least keep them at a distance, and be really careful with second chances. Or if you do give them a second chance, be distant. Don't pretend like nothing ever happened. So yeah, I guess that is it for this video. I have talked about 3 signs or red flags about someone that you should just be a bit more cautious around for yourself, and then in what instances to cut someone off or be careful with your second chances and keep a distance. So I hope that helps. Let me know if there's something I could explain better or questions about this topic that I could answer. And as well, have you been in a toxic relationship like that? Have you had someone who has betrayed your trust, and how did you deal with it? Let me know in the comments below.